feeling
all
it.
body moving, you know. Have to warm up. You also have to like cool down. You also have to take care of your body. I'm like strong. Like, that's on how everybody. I'm Viola, and I'm a dancer in the Goteborgs Operan Danskompani. And continue. So how we met?
How we met? Good question. So we know each other for 10 years. I think first time we met was in the summer workshop in Rosella.
Yeah, stage d'été.
Pendant le stage.
We joined the Rosella the same year, but we were not in the same class.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, because
We
I'm
weren't
1
in
year
the-
older.
Yeah, and then
But then you came to my class because you're good.
merci. When did you first know you wanted to be a professional dancer? And was the journey a straightforward one?
I knew I wanted to be a dancer after I saw that Swan Lake, most
Like
common
everyone.
thing ever.
Yeah.
Like everyone, yeah. I knew I wanted to do that. I didn't want to go to ballet school, but I was just like dancing. And I was asking my parents to just like put, I don't know, Romeo and Juliet, Prokofiev music or Tchaikovsky music, and I would just like dance in there, in the living room.
I think you still do it now. You do it
still
everywhere.
do it.
You dance everywhere, like non-stop. Remember when we were living together, your alarm music is like classical music.
Oh.
Wake up to classical music and sleep within classical
gosh.
music. Do you recall the exact moment when you acknowledged about making the transition from classical dancer to contemporary dancer?
And so I remember I saw the piece from NDT, and just like the expression that was transcending the dancers and the open interpretation that was allowed in that kind of context and dance, I think really just resonates with what I wanted to do. And therefore I decided, I think that's my direction. I loved ballet, but it was just too structured for
Exactly.
me. And I was just curious to see what was other than that.
Yeah. I think for ballet,
Yeah, it's like-
mostly, like we are trying to find a structured perfection. But whereas in contemporary, you're always looking for something new and something creative.
Really
different.
depends though. It really depends from choreographers to choreographer. Like Hofesh, whom I'm working with now, he has such a like specific way of approaching his own movement, his own timing. It's a very rhythmical, so many details. Each and every choreographer has its own structure, let's say, has its own way of approaching it, of approaching this kind of dance. Work a lot with, for example, intentions, other than form. Latneva has a very specific style. Wuppertal, also with Pina Bausch, like completely different style. And that was like the hardest part for me, and still is, because I find myself in this like body that has been trained with so much ballet in the past, and therefore is used to look for the form of the thing, of the movement. Like my biggest struggle has always been to deconstruct that form and approach it in a different way.
But it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like the process of.
It is exciting. Like that's the work.
Yeah. What's the normal day of your life look like?
Okay, so I wake up with classical music. We have class at 9:30, which means that at 9 I try to come here to just warm up and like be ready in the mental state, physical state. Then we have warm-up classes, and the classes here are very different from like week to week. We have 2 weeks of ballet, and then we have 1 week of Gaga or 1 week of contemporary dance or flow work. So it's very depending of the production we have, what we need as a warm-up. Some people are very like straightforward, other people are just like
Feeling
all
it.
body moving, you know.
Sometimes we just lost the passion for it, because I mean you kept on doing tendu since the day one.
Yet every day your body is different. Every day, like for me, the
That's true.
tandu is a different tandu.
That's
You know,
true.
every day you discover something in your body. It's just something that is infinite, and the possibilities are infinite.
Exactly.
We are so fortunate. We are so lucky of having that experience every day. This is like the best feeling in the world.
In my memory, how I remembered you 10 years ago, you were just this very aspiring dancer and very in love with this art form. And even now, after 10 years, I'm like so happy for you that nothing changed. Thank God.
Just be questioning myself, like, why do I love it so much? Like, why do I have to be here every day? Like, dance is really my life in space. The music, the silence, and the way you can play with those.
At school, we used to have carte blanche. Tu te rappelles? Enfin,
Yeah.
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
It's an assignment for students that we choreograph our own choreography. That includes choosing music, the topic you want to talk about, the story you want to tell, and the movements, right? So what's the process of creating and choreographing like?
As an interpreter, and in a company where it's a creation company, it's very different from carte blanche. Body has a very personal way of moving, a personal way of approaching music, and personal way of approaching time in space. And I think this is something that I don't want to lose, whatever I'm working with now. But for me now, it's more like the improvisation that I'm interested, like, because out of the improvisations I know where my body's at the moment. Like my mind is always, for sure, it's never resting. My mind is always like questioning things or questioning life. You have to find those things also from your own experience and the context you live, and then how from that plus your body create something. That's what I want to do.
Of all the lessons you've learned so far, and which is the one you would most likely to share with our viewers?
The advice is go and listen to Bach. Look for something and don't be afraid of changing, and acknowledging that you're constantly changed. So don't get stuck in your brain in the world that has everything already there and it's just an open possibility. So
like our quota, like don't go where there's a road, go where there's no road but leave a trace.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah, I love this sentence.
And that's what we will do.
From so far what I've heard from your story, spiritual dancer, I would use this term to call you, because when you're doing the thing you love the most, you can see it, like from your eyes, the way you speak it, as well as when you were dancing. I feel like with all my heart, I had goosebumps everywhere. Like it's so different than just seeing somebody just doing the movements with the music. After this interview with you today, I felt very inspired. Thank you so much, Viola, for your time, and we expect much more from you.
Thank you so much for everyone, and we'll see you soon somewhere.
Yes.